are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
It's time to hit the pick. Touchdown! Sports betting, fantasy football, and the latest NFL news. Featuring Lau Desmond and Christian Giordani. Bet on us to make you a better bettor.
What?
It's time to hit the pick.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Hit the Pick. I'm your host, Christian Giordani. Alongside of me, we have Loud Esmond, Sniper West, Tom Rydcrap, David Delano, and Scott Steen, the Steamroller.
We're off to a good start.
Off to a great start. Thank you. Tom Macrina, otherwise known as Rye Cape. And then, of course, we have the Steamroller, Scott Steen. Thank you, Christian. Are you better now? What's with the day drinking before the show? Come on now.
We don't all do that?
No.
I'm
just getting started. It's just cocktail hour now here. There you go. Cheers, everybody. All right. Cheers. Christian.
Yes, sir.
I think the most important thing to do here is just sort of introduce what Hit the Pick is all about. Now, I'm going to pick Scott Steen, the Steamroller, to give us an introduction as to what Hit the Pick is all about, how it's different, and who we are and what it's all about. You're the marketing guy.
I should have come to rehearsal, man. I didn't know you were going to put me on the spot like that. All right. Well, for those of you that are watching this, you see 5 guys. And for those of you that are listening, there's 5 people besides Christian. And we are the 5 founders of a website called Hit the Pick. And Hit the Pick is more than just a name. HIT is actually an acronym for honesty, integrity, and transparency, the thing that we try to do all of the time. All of us are veteran, old handicappers. We've been doing this a long time. We've done picks at a lot of different places. We know what works. We know what the people want. And we know what they don't want. And we're trying to combine that into one site that is run by cappers for the regular people that don't want to get caught up in all the madness of a lot of the tout sites out there. We're about ready to get started. We're going to roll it out soon in the next couple of days. And we're excited to get rolling. I know I speak for myself and probably everybody else here that we're all chomping at the bit to make
You know what I think should be exciting to people is a lot of places give away free picks. And yeah, we're going to do that. But the first time you sign up for the site, you're going to get
$100
of cash site credit that you can use to buy high-end picks from the handicappers that you either see here or you're listening to here. A lot of places that, there's kind of a bait and switch. There's, you can get the free picks, but those aren't the best picks. And in this case, you can sign up, and the first time you sign up, you are going to get $100 towards free picks, towards real picks, right, Wes?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, starting a business and starting a website is, we knew it wasn't going to be easy, right? But it's incredibly stressful and incredibly hectic. But I think it will be very rewarding both for us and for our clients that come and try us out. So yeah, looking forward to it. Could not be any more excited. And kind of stoked that we're all on this meeting here together and the public can see our faces for the first time and know who the founding fathers are. So very exciting stuff.
We're going to get to some picks in just a minute, but I want to ask David here. David, you've worked with a lot of different sites. You also have your own. What are you excited about this particular new venture about the most?
Well, I'm excited to have a team with me. This business, there's so many different aspects of setting this up and running a sports consulting business. It's hard no matter how much knowledge you have, it's hard for one person to do it by themselves. So I think that each of us have different levels of expertise. And one thing from getting to know each of you guys know what you're doing. You care about the customers. We've got people involved that we're not taking orders from people that just want to make money. Don't get me wrong. We want to make money, but it's not people who don't know what they're doing, don't understand the business, and they want to make money. So they're giving orders, but not really understanding what it's like. So all of us understand what it's like to be on both sides in different aspects. We all have different strengths and weaknesses. So I'm excited to be able to do that and not have to do everything by myself, and also to be able to learn things, because I've learned a lot from you guys, and iron sharpens iron. So you want to have people that challenge you and people that can teach you things, and that's what I'm excited about.
David Delano dropping a biblical reference on the gambling show. Hey, Tom, you have such an interesting background because you were well known in the world of gaming. That's where the Rye Cape comes from. You were a high-end champion gamer. I don't remember exactly what your best games were, but it's an interesting background that you come in with, and you come to the handicapping. Some of the things that a lot of the things that I saw working for different handicapping sites and gambling sites really bordered on the unethical to me, and some completely crossed the line into unethical. And I'll tell you one of the things that one site that I found out was doing that I worked for, and I immediately said, I'm out. They had 50% of their phone bank contacting people and saying, bet on the Jets. And then they had 50% of the people contacting people saying, bet on the Bengals in a game where the Jets and the Bengals were playing each other, so that they would be sure that 50% of the people would get the right pick, and they would give those picks away and then sucker them in with a win and say, see, we know what we're doing. That kind of stuff is shady. Obviously, none of us like it. And that's some of the stuff that we absolutely want to avoid. Right, Tom?
That's correct. I think the way you're talking about that other company, they want to make themselves winners. At Hit the Pick, we want to make everybody a winner. That's why we have these 5 guys who are consistent winners. And yeah, we want to do it the honest way. We want to give you the best way. We're not going to guarantee winners, but we're going to guarantee that we could put in the research that's needed to win the picks.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So, Christian, is there any news, NFL, college, anything that you want to get out there? Because I've got something I want to kick off the show with if you've got nothing else.
I don't really have anything go off, Loud, so go on right ahead.
Well, and your Rams already played this week, so that's out of your way. Congratulations. By the way, the Rams are now the favorite over the Seahawks to win the NFC West. Irish shirt here's hoodie for the Empire Strikers of the Major Arena Soccer League. Tonight is the first national broadcast on the Golazo Sports Network, the 24/7 CBS Sports Soccer Network of the MASL season. It will be at the Strikers home arena, Toyota Arena in Ontario, California, where Wes has been with me previously, right, Wes?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, we saw.
I'll tell you what, that indoor soccer is pretty cool. It's basically they combine soccer with hockey. So you can go on the power play. Someone's got to go sit in the tank for 2 minutes. I never even heard of it before, but I was very intrigued watching it. It's pretty cool.
People get boarded. There's a lot of concussions. It's high contact, man. And it's a different kind of soccer player.
Yeah.
The players that excel in indoor soccer are like 5'5" and stocky. Whereas, long striders are great in the European style soccer game, but this is a game of quickness and contact and speed. All right. So the Strikers tonight, they are +1.5 with the Utica City FC coming into town. The Strikers got crushed in their opening game at Chihuahua. Yes, there is a team in Mexico, the Chihuahua Savage. They won the whole thing last year. Them and the San Diego Sockers are the powerhouses of the league. A lot of people don't understand this, but the Strikers didn't travel 3 of their starting players to that opening game in Mexico. And they added a lot of quality players. I think this team is +1.5 in this game. I think they're going to cover. And then the bet of the weekend in MASL, that same Chihuahua Savage that beat the Strikers 10-3. They are playing the Tacoma Stars in Tacoma on Sunday. They are only -1.5. If they don't beat Tacoma by at least 3 goals, I will eat Tom Macrina's oldest sweatshirt.
What?
Mm-hmm.
That's a dirty sweatshirt.
That is. Well, if I ate David Delano's oldest sweatshirt, it wouldn't be such a big deal. So I'm going with you, Tom. You probably have the grittiest.
I've posed from the 90s, so.
There you go. Just throwing it out there. Okay, there's my MASL stuff. I will drop it there. Who wants to jump in?
Hey, Loud, real quick. Hey, Loud, real quick. Where are you finding the lines for the MASL?
Next Bets. NEXT-BTS. Next Bets. That's where you can find the MASL lines.
Is that offshore?
No, there are only certain states in the United States that can play Next Bets.
Okay.
But the league is working on they're working on Bet Online, and they're working on FanDuel and DraftKings. So hopefully very soon, now that they have a national television contract on CBS Network, Galazzo, and this is what held the league back a long time ago. It was funny. I was on the Gabe Morency show, Sports Rage, and I started talking about MASL, and they were both like, oh, yeah, we know indoor soccer. They each worked for an indoor soccer team at some point, and they thought gambling on it would be great. Live betting on MASL soccer would be fantastic. All right. It's evolving, Scott, is the story. And I'm pushing some local sports book here in Washington that are close to Tacoma to start taking some action on those games. All right. I will drop the MASL right there. That game goes live at 7:35 tonight on the Galazzo Network. Christian, who do you want to pick on next for some betting information?
Wes, let's get your opinions on the games going ahead.
Well, what are we talking? Are we talking college football?
Whatever you want.
Yeah,
what are we in the mood
whatever
for?
you want, yeah.
Well, let's talk a little college football. So we have a little rivalry game tomorrow, and that would be Navy and Army. And yeah, just I don't know. It could be, it's kind of funny. It's one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports. Yet, we have to work as a team when we fight other countries, right? They come together. But just the tradition of the game and everything. It's always a spectacle, so to speak, right? But so Blake Horvath is going to play. He was questionable, but he is going to play. Navy's 6-3 against the spread the last 9 head-to-head games. So Navy's kind of had Army's number as of late. But Army's off that great win over Tulane. I don't think it's going to be a letdown, to be honest with you, just because of how big the rivalry is. But I actually like points here. So both these teams have been scoring. I think, Loud, you and I were talking about it earlier this week that, they're actually throwing the ball around a little bit this year. And with Horvath playing, I just think that there's actually, the over-under is only 40. And I think that we see an over here. I think we're going to see points. I don't know if you all agree with me, but I'm leaning toward the over in the Navy and Army game. What do you guys think?
Well, I looked it up earlier today. The last time this game got over 38.5 points was 2013. And then there's a break of like 5 years, and then it's over once, then under, and then over. And I think under to the number in this game is like 45 and 10. My thing is, I think Army's going to start slow. I think winning that championship and then having to get up for another game. I know what a huge rivalry it is, but I think it's going to be hard for them. My best bet in this game is I took it early in the week. I took Navy plus 6.5. Next.
Well, 16 of the last 17 have gone under the total, by the way, in case you were looking for a small trend there to fade.
Last year, 17-11.
Yes, they had the goal line stand for Army to get the cover and the under to stick. It was 20. The number was 28.5 last year, by the way. If anybody remembers that. So just before you get going on that one, they're just a trend to be aware of there. I'm the other way. I like this Army team to cover. If you want to play transitive property, like I know Loud likes to do, this is a Army team that beat Tulane by 21, and Tulane beat Navy by 35. So if you're using the transitive property on this, Army should win this one.
I get it.
Nothing. So,
Tom.
Yeah, I'm with Wes on the over. I think both of these teams were based on their offense. They both have great quarterbacks. I think we're going to see a lot of points here. I do lean Army though.
All right, David, do you have a side in this game that you like? I'm with Navy plus 6.5. Am I nuts?
No, you're not. You're not nuts at all. I personally don't have a wager on this one, but as familiar as the teams are, this does seem like a lot of points. Army obviously has been better this year, but Navy I think is a decent play. And as far as the total, I see this somewhat as like a 21-17 game. When it was at 38.5, I was hoping it would drop. Maybe I would have came in on the over, but even if this one gets over, I mean, maybe we get 24-17. I don't see it going way over, so it's not something that I feel really great about.
It is interesting that it has been under, and the public started pushing this number, and it went from 38.5 to 42. So
a lot of that might be the Horvath news too. I think that's probably what pushed it up another one or two.
Yeah, but that means the public has to be right, and that's just not a position that I normally agree with.
Well, here's the problem with Horvath. He averaged 5.5 yards per carry in the first 8 games of the season. He's averaged 3.6 yards per carry the last 3. He has not looked the same since that Notre Dame game. And included there is besides the loss to Tulane, is an ugly loss to Rice, and that's the one that tells me a lot about this team. I'm worried about this Navy team and their ability to move the football. Army actually absolutely shut down a really good Tulane offense last week. And that worries me.
But that was also, I think, Scott, a lot to do with Tulane traveling to West Point. It's freezing cold. It's 24 degrees with wind chill there. I mean, that's one of the reasons I loved Army in that game was I just didn't think a bunch of boys from Louisiana were going to love 24 degrees with wind chill off the lake there. NHL on Saturday night, one quick pick. The Ducks are at the Blue Jackets. I loved this game earlier in the week. I'm like, okay, the Ducks are going to be on the back end of a 5-game road trip. I love fading hockey teams that are on long road trips towards the end. They start putting in the backup goalie. They start giving people time off because they're just worn out. The Blue Jackets were 9-3 earlier this week covering at home. But the Ducks have lost 4 games in a row since they started the road trip. Does anyone want to jump in and tell me that I'm now screwed because teams don't lose that many in a row? Who's our best hockey handicapper? Raise your hand. Is it Tom? Is it Wes? Is it Scott? Who is it?
Humble. This is a humble crew right here.
I do well in hockey. I haven't really looked at the game. The Ducks, who are they playing?
The Ducks are at the Blue Jackets Saturday night. They are on a 5-game road trip over 9 days. They've lost the first 4. The Ducks and the Blue Jackets, not that much different in terms of record, but I love fading hockey teams that are on long road trips.
All right. I also think Blue Jackets are the way better offensive team.
Okay, so we'll leave that there. Loud Esmond is going to be right on that game. Let's talk some NFL. By the way, Christian's computer crashed. So it's just us now. Just us guys. So let's talk some NFL. Who's got a best bet they want to throw out there? Sniper West, what do you like this weekend in the NFL?
I like a lot of stuff, to be honest with you. We could talk about all these games. I mean, obviously the game of the week is, 2 really good games. You got the Steelers and Eagles and the Bills and Lions. So regarding the Bills and Lions, I mean, I hate to get the worst of a number because this total's just gone up and up and up. But I think it's 53.5 now, 54, something like that. I still like the over. I just think it's going to be a shootout. These 2 offenses are really, really good. Obviously Buffalo, they're off a 44-42 loss to the Rams. So they just put up 42 and they gave up 44, right? So that's not good. And the Lions, they haven't lost since week 2. Total's been trending up, like I said. And I just think it's a shootout. The Bills, they're 8-4-1 to the over this year. So they're playing to the over consistently. I like a lot of points. I wish I would have got it earlier in the week. I think it was at 51.5 at some point, but it's trending up. The public's on the over, but I think the sharps are on the over too. I think that's why it's just skyrocketing here, and I like the over.
On the side, these are fairly evenly matched. Earlier in the week, I got the Lions minus 125 just because I like the home team in the dome. And Buffalo looked honestly a little vulnerable to the pass and to the run against the Rams. So I don't have a lot of faith in their defense. So we've got 2 picks here. I've got the Lions money line. Wes likes the over. Scott.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Bills got to slow down Josh Allen a little bit, because every time he goes for 3 touchdowns rushing and 3 touchdowns through the air, they lose. So that can't go on. They've got to put a stop to that. But, in all seriousness, I think what we saw last week with this Bills team was a vulnerability for their defense that we haven't seen in a long time. And Allen's going to get his, that the offense isn't going to be shut down. But I think this is a Lions team that's ready to go. I think they're ready to make a statement. And most importantly, I think they're absolutely ready to send the Kansas City Chiefs to home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs.
Tom.
Yeah, I kind of like the under, but I like the Lions. I think Bill's just coming off that big game against the Rams, and they're going to Detroit. Like Scott said, I think we're going to see a Lions team that wants to prove something here. And the Bills are a good team. I hate to say that I think the Bills are going to lose 2 in a row, but I think they're going to lose 2 in a row. Shake up the AFC a little bit.
Well, one thing, if you guys don't mind, I do have that over there. Hopefully this weekend is my best bet on hitthepick.com. But one game I do want to talk about and see if you guys have an opinion on. Another play that I like is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers +3.
Woo! I love that.
Yeah, this Bucs team, I mean, they had lost 4 in a row, but now after coming off of their bye, they've won 3 straight. Some people could say over this 3-game winning streak, they haven't faced the best competition, but this is a Tampa Bay team. They also started the year strong. They won 3 out of their first 4. They beat the Commanders. Only team to beat the Lions this year, and they also beat the Eagles. If there's the Chargers' defensive numbers look good as far as points allowed, but if there is one weakness, it has been stopping the run. Chargers 22nd in the NFL in yards per carry allowed. Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield's been slinging the ball around, and Bucky Irving, one of the best rookies, one of the best offensive rookies in the NFL this season. And then there's
they get Mike Evans back.
Yeah, Mike Evans back. Justin Herbert, he's expected to go, but he's been questionable. And J.K. Dobbins on injured reserve for the Chargers. So I like the Bucs +3.
So by the way, about a month ago, I started saying the Buccaneers are going to win that NFC South. And people told me, oh, you're crazy. It's the Falcons. And I'm like, no. The Buccaneers are – and the Buccaneers are going to win – the Buccaneers are going to win the NFC South.
I'm on board with the Bucs with Dave, too. I'm all over the Bucs this week.
Yeah, I think that's a great bet. Bucs +3. Lions -125 on the money line. Bills, it seems like everybody kind of likes the over. Okay, Tom, here's your game. Eagles, Steelers. Talk us through it, Philadelphia fan.
Yeah, so did you know the Steelers haven't won in Philadelphia since 1969?
Yes, I saw that stat. That's insane.
All right, so
how many times have they played there? How many times have they played?
That was my question. Like 4?
Yeah, I mean, it's not much, but it's still most of those Steelers teams are better than the Eagles teams when they played against them. So, this time
Tom doesn't bet on Eagles. You don't bet on any Philly sports, though, do you?
I do not.
Yeah.
No, I kind of want to bet on this one.
Just like I don't bet on Notre Dame in one direction or another because I'm too emotionally connected.
So the Eagles offense, I'm not worried about the media about Hurts and A.J. Brown. This is the number 1 rushing team. They're going to play the number 1 or top 5 rushing defense. Something's got to break. I think it's going to be Eagles. I think they're going to move the ball. The way that I look at this market too, it looks like the books are begging you to take the Steelers. It opened at 4.5.
Tom, explain to the listeners and viewers what that means, because I think that's an important point that the regular bettor doesn't understand.
All right. So if you look at the prior times this season that Pittsburgh was a dog, they were in between 1.5 to 3. This time they were plus 4.5. When you go look at the betting splits, you're going to see that the public is behind the Steelers. That's one thing I like to do is fade the trendy dog. Pittsburgh Steelers are the trendy dog. But when this line moves to 5.5, that's a signal to me that the books are taking a stance with the Eagles.
Scott, you're the most experienced guy besides me. What do you think of his analysis there?
I think that's real solid. This is a Philadelphia team that can run the football with Saquon, and the Steelers, if they have a weakness on defense, it's definitely going up against the run. I think Philadelphia will be able to have a little bit of success, and the Steelers for all the success they've had this season, they're still struggling on the offensive side of the football. Even with Russ cooking, they've looked better, but I still have the
1 minute.
Their ability to
So
run.
we think our bet here is Philadelphia minus 5.5.
A lot of points.
I do.
I think that's the play, though.
Okay. All right. So what I've heard tonight is Bucks plus 3 Chargers, Lions minus 125 money line, Lions and in the over in that game, Philly minus 5.5. That's the NFL bets. And Chihuahua Savage to win by more than 1.5 points in Major Arena Soccer League on Sunday at the Tacoma Dome. Man, guys, this has been great. I hope we can get together on Friday nights and have most of us here. It's a great discussion. A lot of different sports, NHL, Major Arena Soccer League, NFL, NCAAF. It's been fantastic. Unfortunately, Christian's computer burned up, so it's just me that has to close out the show. Thanks, everybody, for being here for Hit the Pick. We'll see you next Friday night, and hitthepick.com is opening soon.